The little battles that infuse each day with grating friction, stomach-wrenching anxiety that tests our resolve and tries our patience. We are constantly assaulted by winner-take-all attitudes, rude behaviors, and the mad rush for everything of value. And once we're on the job, conflicts with coworkers abound. There's no end to the potential for conflict. But no matter the reason for conflict, a satisfying outcome must be had, despite the fact that few of us have more than a make-it-up-as-you-go approach, relying solely on our wits, our habits, and, of course, our good intentions. We all favor a particular style in handling conflict. Unfortunately, we tend to rely on that style as a one-size-fits-all way to resolve all conflicts, no matter how unrealistic that might be. But there is a logical, strategic approach to conflict resolution based on your understanding of what the conflict means to you and others. To determine what values are at stake in any conflict, ask yourself these three questions. What value do I put on the outcome of this conflict? What value do I put on the relationship with the other person? And how do I balance these two issues? With these questions in mind, let's look at 5 predominant conflict resolution styles, each of which can be highly effective if used appropriately. Let's begin with accommodate.
Kim Calderon.
Kim, we've made a terrible error and I'm going to have to ask for your help.
Okay, I'll try.
Kim Calderon is an operations manager who purchases critical supplies from Bob, whom she trusts and relies upon completely. But today, Bob's got a problem.
We somehow ended up with an incredible oversupply of those ball bearing sets that you order month to month, and we have nowhere to store them. Is there any way that we can double up your delivery so that you could get 2 months' supply this time?
As long as you bill me on our regular schedule and skip next month's delivery, that should be okay. We have some extra storage space, at least for now, and we'll use them eventually.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I owe you one.
This accommodation has no negative effects, so Kim placed a low value on the solution. But the value of her accommodation was very high to Bob, and that was more important to her than storage. She wants Bob to know that she made the decision to solve his problem, and she has shown herself to be cooperative, not weak. She's paved the way now for Bob to respond to her needs in the future. Accommodate can work wonders if used in the appropriate situation. Another equally important approach is avoid. In the avoidance style, you postpone the conflict so neither party wins nor loses. Some conflicts will resolve themselves if left alone, and it is best to avoid people who are angry and might initiate arguments they will regret later. Avoidance is also a good initial response to conflicts that you are unprepared for, as it can buy you time to improve your position.
Kim, where do we stand with the Harwood and Stonewall settlement?
Well, I don't exactly know. I had a very brief and unpleasant conversation with them yesterday. That is until he hung up on me.
Well, okay, that kind of thing happens sometimes. What's our plan? How are we going to handle this?
At this point, I can't get any information from their representative, and our attorney hasn't quite figured out who's liable yet. So, Jim, I think this one's just going to take some time, and we need to figure it out.
Okay. Let's avoid all contact with Harwood and Stonewall until they've had a chance to cool down, until we've had a chance to come up with a decent plan. All right. Now, they have more reason to be excitable than we do because it's their deadline that's affected, not ours. So as their deadline becomes more problematic, they may be more willing to compromise.
Right, and I completely agree with you. So what I'll do is I'll develop some plans this afternoon. You and I can look them over. And if they call for a meeting, we'll attempt to schedule it as far in the future as possible.
Okay, let's make this work.
Okay, good.
The avoid style should work well for Kim in this situation. She will not be drawn into any arguments, and she has bought some time to prepare. While her position will improve, the deadline works against her opposition. The avoid style relies heavily on timing. If Kim were pressed for time, she might resort to a compromise.
The super from the New Kensington site called. He steamed about something called a 43 Alval.
What about them?
They don't have any more.
Ugh.
Compromise when both the outcome and the relationship are of a high value. In the compromise style, you resolve the conflict quickly and efficiently by seeking a fair and equitable split between your positions.
Hello, Precision Machine, may I help you?
Hi, Morris Blankenship, please. This is Kim Calderon from Barkley and Baga.
He's on the factory floor, Ms. Calderon. Could you hold?
Thank you.
Should I call the super?
Not until we have something to tell him.
Good idea. He was furious.
Kim,
Yes,
what's up?
those 43L valves.
Yeah, what about them?
We don't have any more.
Well, how can that be? We delivered every one of them to the site last Wednesday.
I know, but they're out, and our crews are